Okay, yoga meditation. We're talking about pratyahara, dharana, dhyana. Somebody read. So this is how we're going to define yoga meditation for the purposes of Yin. Okay, I'm totally open for argument about definitions of meditation, but not today because we're short on time. But I love arguing about meditation. But for Yin yoga and for traditional yoga practices, this is how we're just going to framework this for you guys. Okay, so somebody who's a good reader, read the first paragraph there.
Yoga meditation is a spontaneous event occurring by a process that unfolds through the techniques one utilizes. In Yin, it is beneficial to think of meditation as an ancillary process that can be layered on during the asana portion of the class. A typical traditional yogic meditation process begins with pratyahara, then moves toward dharana, which then creates space for dhyana to occur. Much more can be said for the uses and benefits of meditation, far too many to list here. But do keep in mind that using meditation in Yin is a powerful tool for reprogramming the mind and setting your students up for success by optimizing the benefits that the practice has to offer.
Yeah, I mean, yoga, meditation is like deep well, right? So we're just going to, yeah. So somebody read number 1 there.
Pratyahara, turning the attention inward, most commonly achieved through any sense being closed off from external stimuli, such as closing the eyes, using mudras that are retractive, and pranayama that is cooling and or calming.
Okay, somebody read number 2.
Dharana, known as concentration or deep focus of the attention on a single point in a place and time. The difficulty a Yin teacher faces guiding the student into a dharana practice is that it requires the mind to be active to the degree that it stays centered, so it is best to use objects or practices with the mind's power of focus that are Yin in nature. Though using guided visualizations that do not stir one's inner environment is foremost, one must also be sure to not take someone so far into a guided meditation that they lose contact with the current experience of the practice. Dharana can also be achieved with silent mantra repetition.
And number 3.
Dhyana, defined as meditation, is specific in that it is a particular type of meditation that occurs once the circumstances have been appropriately created. It is a byproduct that takes place after silence, stillness, and a certain level of mental relaxation have been achieved. In inviting dhyana to take place, balancing the polar mental energies of Ida and Pingala is required. And to attain a sattvic state, too much Ida can be counterproductive even in Yin.
Okay. So, any questions? So dhyana is the state where thoughts stop, right? Has anybody ever experienced that? Where your mind actually stops? Yeah. So that's not a common thing. I think most people, I didn't experience it in a way that I was aware of it in a seated meditation until I was probably in my 30s. There was moments where I was maybe doing something, and I was lost in the flow of immersion is what it's called. But that is still... that's still dharana, because I'm still engaged with a concentration. So we can have, when we talk about moving meditations, the deepest you can get meditationally speaking, or yogic meditationally speaking, with moving is dharana. As long as we are engaged with a doing of the physical senses, right? Or a doing with the mind, right? So if we think over something. But at the moment we let go of having to have an outcome or problem solve or control circumstances, yet we are lost in the absorption of the silence and stillness, and the mind stops, that is technically yoga meditation. So I'd say that most of us have probably experienced it, but like me, I didn't realize it was a thing until one day it lasted for a while, right? So you probably have had 5 seconds here, maybe 30 seconds there, right? Intervals during your time of life. But to sit down for 20 minutes and meditate and have 4 minutes of that meditation, or 7 minutes of that meditation, or 18 minutes of that meditation, and you're just like, whoa. And it's not necessarily a checking out. The difference between, like, you know, a lot of times people are tired when they go to meditate, and so what happens is their mind actually shuts down and they go into a place of like rest. And that is not necessarily meditation. That's not necessarily this meditation. So pratyahara, though. So we're not going to be talking about dhyana beyond that, because you, as a yoga teacher, you can't control that for your students. Because the thing you need to understand is that you can provide the circumstances for it to occur, but then it has to happen after that. So you can light the candle, be a calm, quiet, cool, dark room, all the right things, do all the things to have it happen. And yet we need to remember that even at that point, it's still only an invitation for the mind to enter into that space. We can't, you all have tried to control the mind, right? It just doesn't work. So it's a thing where the mind kind of does it on its own after it's been trained and conditioned over a long period of time in a specific way. But we will be talking about pratyahara and dharana. So for meditations, where it says pratyahara supportive techniques, we will take 1 minute, and you're going to write down one asana, one pranayama, one mudra, and one mantra that you think go together well to invoke pratyahara. And the asana has to be one that is a yin asana. Okay? And the so
Oh, there is one.
yeah, it's just right there. Yep, so write down one of each. And you can use one we've supplied, or if you know your own, feel free too. Okay, got it? All right, keep that, because when we start to put the sequence together later. Yeah, any questions on that? Anybody want to share theirs real quick? We don't have time to go around and share everybody's stuff.
Well, what is that one mudra where you like cut your eyes, ears, or whatever? Who is that?
So it's Brahmari. Who knows the mudra name? Do you remember? You guys? Apparently you learned nothing in the 300 hours. No.
Well, I mean, the pranayama, but
What's the pranayama called?
it's Brahmari.
Brahmari, yeah.
Brahmari.
The mudra is Shanmukhi. Yeah, that's a good one. We actually had that on our list originally.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Did anyone
Did
share it?
anybody want to share one? Yeah?
Yeah.
So my asana, I chose child's pose. Pranayama, Durga Swasam,
Okay.
the breath holding and exhaling of the holds. The mudra, the thumb and the, is this your forefinger or your pointer finger? Pointer finger?
Yes.
Oh, is that the same thing? Okay.
Yes.
Your thumb
Or index.
and your, is that your index finger too?
It's all three.
So many different words for this one finger. And then the mantra. Is that right? Does that all work?
That works.
Okay.
So
On my track.
child's pose, and then the palms like this, up or down.
Probably down to take it more inward, if that's what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
For the pratyahara, that's taking.
Yeah, I mean you could also do, you guys know this one, right? Anjali Mudra. Yeah.
Do you do boo in child's pose? Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Nice.
Or even back here.
I was thinking like out to the sides, but
Or out to the side. Yeah. You could do that, yeah.
Do you want to take one more or move on?
Does anybody want to go real quick? Give one more? Jordan?
I did crocodile for the asana, 3-part breath for the pranayama, boo mudra, and then O for the root chakra, and then boo mudra. I was trying to remember.
Cool. Oh. I feel it. I feel it down there. Okay.
All right, we're going to move on. I know you guys, a few more of you, we got to go. All right, so dharana techniques. We're going to go through a few of these. So again, comfortable seated position. We're going to do Chitakasha Dhyana or Hridyakasha Dhyana. Is that right?
Let's not go through it.
No?
Let's just explain it
Okay.
and ask that question.
Okay.
Because we're going to do the other two.
So go through it, do it?
Nope.
No.
Just talk about it,
Talk
what
about
it
it.
is.
Okay. So this is, does anyone want to read this little paragraph for us? Somebody go.
This is an exercise for tapping into the subconscious mind and can bring a deep sense of connection to why someone feels or reacts the way they do. It is not only an effective preliminary meditation technique, but is helpful in discovering the root to and removing certain negative mental patterns. It can also be used to harmonize and optimize the relationship between the subconscious and conscious mind. Once the body and the mind, and mind, have been relaxed via the breath, focus the mind's eye awareness into the dark expanse of space at an internal location, the mind and heart respectively. Watch for symbols or visions and the corresponding emotions that may arise in response.
Who does this already? Yeah, most of you, like, do you ever like wake up in the morning and then just like lay there for a while and just kind of look into space? Or you get right up, huh, Jess? She's like, I got cupcakes to make. I got kids to chase around. But you all have, some of you have felt this one before? Yeah.
This is a really good one for strengthening that mind creative muscle. Then when should one? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you guys think about, is there a certain time for when we should use the mind versus the heart as the focal point in the meditation? Is there a right or a wrong time that we should do one or the other? Is there a difference in the effect? Any ideas? Thoughts? Feelings?
Could we use them both at the same time instead of just one or the other? Use them together?
Well, you can't focus your attention at
Sure.
two spots.
Yeah.
I
effectively.
can't anyways.
Yeah.
I think for the purpose of solely removing negative mental patterns, you have to focus on the mind.
Mhm.
I mean, I think that that's kind of essential if that's what the purpose is behind what you're trying to do. I think that, like in the 200 hour, one of the most important things that I learned regarding this was separating the mind and body and spirit in like a triangle, and not like your heart doesn't reflect what your mind is. You know what I'm saying? They're separate entities.
Mhm.
And so I think that, yeah, if you have to focus on the mind and let it sort of fire off if you're trying to remove those negative patterns.
Yeah, I love what you said there. So in yoga, the mind is born of the heart. So that means that a lot of people think that emotions come from thoughts, but it's the other way around. Thoughts come out of emotions. Thoughts are born out of emotions. So yeah, it's probably easier to start with the mind and then move towards the heart space, but also has to do with, for example, if you teach more of an emotional class, if you're doing a lot of hip openers and you're talking about emotions a lot, then Hridaya Kasha, Dhyana or Dharana is what you want to use. But if it's much more of a practice, you've got a bunch of A-typers and Rajasic people, you've got to quiet the mind space down, then use techniques for that and then allow them to watch the mind and see that, oh yeah, actually there is space here. It doesn't necessarily mean to practice Chitta Kasha Dharana. It doesn't mean that you will stop the mind from thinking. But it means that it brings an awareness to the fact that there is a space in between that the mind can think, and there's room for other things there too. So you're not your thoughts is the whole purpose of that, is to be able to witness and actually see this separation and the space in between. So Chitta Kasha, Chid is that part of the mind, like the Chitta, right? It's the thinking part of the mind that says, I like popcorn, I like kombucha, I don't like this. And Chitta Kasha, Akasha is space. So it's basically concentrating in the space of the mind. And Hridaya is a Sanskrit name for heart. So the actual spiritual heart.
Which word was, I'm sorry, was it
Akasha?
Hridaya was heart?
Yep.
Yeah?
Hridaya.
Hridaya?
Hridaya. Yeah. Okay, now you guys are going to break up and do the Anuloma Viloma Krama okay, to each other. And you're gonna use this. You're gonna teach it as you learn it right here, okay? So let me show you how this goes real quick though. So step 1, inhale 4 to 6 puffs, soft and slow, exhale smooth. So what that's gonna look like is a okay, we do that 3 times. Then inhale smooth, 4 counts, exhale 4 to 6 puffs. But if you choose 4 for the inhale, you want to probably keep 4 for the exhale unless you're working on long enough purposefully. But you don't want to extend inhales. Do 6 puffs in or 6 smooth breaths in and then 4 on the way out, because then you're just charging the body with prana, right? So go through the 4 different techniques of this to experience it, see how it feels, practice teaching it, and then we'll talk about the last one. So don't worry about the last one where it says during practice and inhale retention may be added, at which point a japa mantra or bhavana visualization could be used to enhance experience. We'll talk about that afterwards. Erica?
What's the difference between sips and puffs?
Nothing.
Okay.
I just wanted to change the wording. Yeah. Sip also, well, if somebody's nose is plugged, they can sip it like this. But the point is that after each puff or sip, they don't go the other way with the breath. It's like a quick inhale and then stop, or exhale and stop. So you actually think about the breath building up like a staircase, and then going smooth down a slide, or smoothly up, down, up the mountain, and then steps back down. Okay? New partner. Oh, Rachel.
Is this with a closed mouth?
Preferably, but if their nose is all plugged up, they can do it with the open mouth.